Hello and welcome to round number 5 of the 2022 season of Rony's Tuesday Fun Race. The second half of the season, in fact, second half of the year. Tonight we are at Rockingham Extended ISSC Race Screen Events, which is a mouthful, Eoin, but it is the extended version of ISSC created by Rony himself with the XRT. Eoin, how are you doing this evening?
I'm very good, Pete. Thank you for asking, and I'm sure this will keep us very entertained. A superb layout, I have to say.
Yeah, there's certain parts of this that are remnants of a sprint layout that Rony's used before, but not in this configuration. So it's going to be interesting to see how the drivers fare. We have a couple of extra corners, which we're going to show you in just a few moments' time. But let's get on with the first part of the show and see just what is going on with the season so far. Well, we've had 4 rounds. We had the LFS RM at Aston 4 Reverse, then we had the FBM at National, the RAC at West Hill, the Fake Topo Cup at Fern Bay Gold, and then we had the XRT tonight, obviously at Rockingham. Next time out, it's going to be the XFR at Blackwood 2, not Blackwood 1. So that's going to be Blackwood Historic on the 25th of October. So yeah, another one to look forward to. Eoin, the track tonight is a bit of a beast. It is ISSC, but with an extra hairpin and a few more twisty corners. Here it is. We start off the normal start-finish straight, and then we head round to turn 2, where we would usually duck into the Dean hairpin before following around on the infield through Graceland, School Straight, etc. to the end of the lap. But instead, we're going to head all the way up to turn 3 of the oval. Turn 3 of the oval, and then into the infield part there, the old national layout.
Absolutely, yeah. The drivers will be getting tremendous speeds as they have extra turns in the oval to negotiate, and then the hairpin once we show it on the broadcast, you'll see just how narrow and very deceivingly tight it is. And then if you notice the turns 8 and 9, that's where the Dean hairpin is. So the drivers will be entering that section a lot quicker than they'd be used to. And then the final chicane complex at the end of the lap, the sausage curves are very tall there, so there won't be any 3 wides or anything risky, I hope, anyway, at that section. That's where I'll be keeping my eyes out on.
Yeah, absolutely. And 16 laps of racing this evening around this 4.5 kilometre, 2.8 mile behemoth. It's good. It's been fun to watch some of the cars going around in the qualifying session so far. But before we bring you pictures of that, we need to talk about, well, first of all, we'll talk about the car. The XRT, a 2-litre turbocharged inline-4 front-engined rear-wheel drive car that's been around in LFS since the inception, basically. It was a demo car way back when, and is now available in S1. Owen, it's a beast. It's a rear-wheel drive car. It's very, very popular among the drivers, and it's certainly a challenge around Rockingham.
Yeah, the rear-wheel drive element means that too much power down on the grass or the gravel will unsettle these types of cars, and it'll put you into drift, or hopefully, the worst case scenario, not a spin. But if it is a spin, that'll be a worrying sign for the drivers. But yeah, the superb grip, you will feel the grip, and the power is definitely an element that makes this car really fun to drive.
It is indeed. We have some championship standings to go through. Of course, it is only the Drivers' Championship standings this year, so we're going to flash those up for you really quickly. Here we are. Gabor leads the way with 92 points now, ahead of his teammate Rick Cardle. Fragmaster's Faithful down to P3 after his timeout last time. Unite is in P4, then we've got Thamuli, Pekka Koivunen, Rony and Lorenzo for Race Green, Joni Katila and Magic there in P10. Then we've got Jari Katila, Botsy, Soini, Leandro 911, Roger Chen, Zesty, Luke and Tivalta, who is here tonight, again, currently in provisional pole, spoilers. Then we've got Ona P19 and Michael Malik in P20. Owen, we've got 3 pages of results, I think, so this list obviously grows every round. But yeah, good to see the shake-up at the top of the field as we head into the second half of the second season of 2022.
Yeah, as we saw, the top 4 drivers in the classifications are the standout candidates for the championship at this stage. Anyone who we have seen from the 21st down here, they'd love to take this opportunity if they're in attendance to vault up the table. And of course, any new names that we witness on circuit for the first time, they will hope that they can begin a lovely mini chapter in their sim racing lives, I suppose.
Absolutely. Well, if you've got a photographic memory, take a photo now. That's how the standings are at the moment. They're going to change probably by the end of this round, because it's time to head over for qualifying to see just what is going on the track with our drivers here this evening. We've got a familiar name at the front. It is Antti Valter, who has been setting the timing screens alight in the qualifying sessions so far. And he's doing a pretty good job out there. Currently a 2-minute 1:98, the only driver in the 201s. Then it's Rick Cardle behind him. So all the drivers have got a lot of work to do to get anywhere near that. The best is Rick Cardle, 2 and a bit tenths behind. Then Fatal in P3.
Yeah, it's definitely the benchmark set, the only time in the 2-minute 1 range. But still a healthy amount of drivers within 2 minutes 2, 2 minutes 3. That could affect our top 15 classifications. But the unfamiliar sector 1, that's probably where the good and the great are separated. Rick Cardle is now on camera here. He'll be hoping to find those 2 and a bit tenths to snatch away pole position in this next 2.5 minutes.
Yeah, not a lot of time to go in this session, but it is a 2-minute lap. We were talking about this before we went on air. We think it's the longest possible configuration that you can have for kind of track racing in Rockingham. When you combine all of the options, all the road options, this is probably the longest configuration it's possible to have comfortably. So yeah, 2-minute lap time, which is a bit unusual for Rockingham in TBO class cars. Here comes Rick Cardle onto the school straight, very familiar part of the circuit as we head up to the final chicane. This is super tricky. The sausage curves, as you see, Rick mounts the first one. That sends him all out of shape for the second. Bit wide of the apex on the final corner. Not using all of the road on the exit of the oval either, because he wants to get the car down to the apron. Or is he starting a lap? I think he was winding up for a lap. So we'll see. He's still P2, 2 tenths to go. And let's watch him actually through the first section of the lap, because this is new. This doesn't normally get run for ISSC. This is the extended edition. So we have a long sweeping corner here. There's part of the layout from the sprint layout of this circuit, and then tight down to the apex before going very wide for a hairpin.
Yeah, the braking zone, it just appears so quickly out of the exit of turn 3. It means if you're in a position that you feel uncomfortable with, you're going to be probably pitched into a spin, because you have to react straight away, or else you'll be going straight on or possibly out of control. Now this section here is very unique, that you said in our sort of pre-race chat, and there's where the Dean hairpin is. It's so quick coming out of turn 7 there on this layout. It really means that if you get it wrong, you're going to be sailing onto the grass. Unfortunately, Rick has come to it's coming to a halt now, so he might be conceding pole position here, unfortunately. Yeah, that must be it.
Yeah, he was not happy with that lap. It didn't start as well as it probably could have. The first hairpin that Donny is coming up to right now was a little bit awkward. He was a little bit earlier on the brakes maybe than he wanted to be. He had to mount that blue and yellow curve as Donny has some traffic to contend with. There we go. Forced off of his line. Very, very tricky few corners we go through now. Onto the, I guess this is national if it had a reversed configuration. We don't normally run it in this direction. And then down into where you said the Dean hairpin used to be, before we hit the familiar Yentwood PIF path. We're only using PIF today, so the old familiar parts of ISSC. But a great track as the clock hits 0.
Yeah, it's lovely to see Rockingham used whenever we get the opportunity to do so. It really has that element of challenge that we don't experience on the fictitious tracks that we obviously do love to see on LFS. But yeah, it's just so different coming to Rockingham. These kind of corners here, the swoops and the teasing hairpins are definitely a great element of Rockingham's infield. And then the oval itself, it's a tighter oval. We won't get to see huge top speeds, but definitely lots of side-by-side action.
Well, I hope so. I hope the first corner doesn't go as badly as it did last time out. I seem to remember we had a pretty nasty pile-up on the first corner. As we head out of the final corner with Ian Donny, as he heads up to the line. Will it be an improvement on P14? Currently a 2-minute 3:85. There's start-finish, and it is an improvement up to P11 for him.
Yeah, so very good job. But the Mooley, by virtue of setting the 2-minute 3.47 first, hangs on to P10. So that's how we break the tie in our qualifying sessions. This is Sidus Unite coming across the line. Can he improve? Yeah, it's not quite, but he'll hang on to 5th place at least.
And Lorenzo would have been our last car, but he appears to be timing out of the server, so we will have to wait and see when we get a full complement of drivers in qualifying. Yep, Lorenzo's out of the server, so just a couple of more cars coming across the line to finish the session. That should have been everybody. So let's get a rundown, Eoin, of the order for today's race.
Yeah, there we go. 30 eligible times have been set, but the very best was undisputedly Valta there on pole position, 2-minute 1.98, followed by Rick Cardle there for Sidus leading the way for the purple juggernaut, and Fatal is certainly a contender there in 3rd place. The rest of the top 10 is Gabor, Unite, Owner, Koivunen, Kig, Rick 98, and the Hitmuli. followed by the 11th down to 20th with Donny, Texas, Soini, Nossel, Pedro Bior, Magic, Lorenzo, Argentina. Is it Argentinos? Oh, no, it's Air Attack. Sorry, Air Attack, River, Rony, and Michael.
Yeah, and on the final page of results, we've got world-class lines: Yari Katila, Magrio, Shvaya PL, T-Bug, Redbot, LG Mies, Litro, which is a name we haven't seen around for quite a while, Davey, Mantas, and TomTom round out the 30 cars. TomTom may or may not, he may just actually be allowed to start that time just within the 107%, so it should just be okay, but we will see. 30 cars, as you mentioned, could potentially start this one. And yeah, that's going to be a lot of cars heading down into that first hairpin after 3 flat-out oval corners, Owen.
Yeah, that's the real element of surprise that the drivers will have to deal with. As much or as little hot lapping they've done, it's going to be totally different when we have 30 cars all looking to enter the same space in a short period of time at incredibly high speeds. That's the threat, but also the excitement.
Indeed. And speaking of things happening in quick succession, with not a lot of space between them, we have a broadcast on Thursday, I guess a rescheduled running of the Fragmasters GTI Thursday stream for October will take place this Thursday for round 41 of that championship. So some more LFS action on your screens this week, should you want to watch any more of that. A few minutes to go, 6 minutes to go, in fact, before the lights go out for round 5 of the second season of RTFR in 2022. It's going to be a good one. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back before the lights go out. Welcome back to round number 5 of the second season of RTFR in 2022 with the XRT at Rockingham Extended ISSC RGE. Breathe. Eoin, we aren't going to have much breath, I feel. We've had some pretty exciting races this season so far, and tonight I feel is going to be no exception.
Yeah, fully endorse that sentiment. Yeah, as we've said before, just the slight change in the layout to what we're used to, it could mean so much of a difference to the quality of the racing. The drivers may have the unexpected creep up on them and could deliver a chance for someone else to succeed, or more side-by-side battling, or anything in between. So I'm looking forward to it.
Absolutely. Only 1 minute to go. The drivers should be getting ready to restart the race, and we will go for 16 laps around this kind of behemoth of a track. Really, it is extremely long. Well, it is one of the longest configs that is probably possible at Rockingham. Here it is, all of its glory, and the drivers are on the grid. Let's head to the action. Eoin, take it away for the start.
Here we go. The 30 or so cars are preparing for these lights to extinguish. We need them to get going first. It's a long hold, definitely longer than usual. Here we go, and off they are. We'll see if they get who gets the best getaway. Looks good for Valta. Yeah, very good. But as we will know, the turn 3 will enhance these cars' performance quite a lot with the slipstream going that long. Unite wants to bump draft his teammate just in the background there. Holding the inside line is the pole sitter. Rick stays in the middle. Gabor gets a very good entry using all that apron. Lots of high drifting, so you need to handle that now with the braking zone coming right up. Yeah, Cardle on the outside. He's tapped Valta, but Valta will have a huge inner cut there to take. But yeah, so far the leaders are through, but not so the middle pack. Nozzle had a bit of a contact with Donny. Yeah, a bit of a traffic jam. It sends one of the drivers quite high. I think that was Litro into last position.
Well, we are going to be breathless, and so too is Anti-Valta. Anti-Valta has got Rick Cardle for company as he heads into the traditional ISSC layout. Donny has made up a position, I believe, on owner there, and well, lots of other cars filing. Sorry, Donny's behind owner, so he's lost a place as we head into Yentwood and what is that? Chapman. Yeah, the corners are coming quick and fast. And yeah, Rick Cardle all over the rear end of Anti's car. Let's ride on board with him and see if Rick can unsettle Anti on this first lap.
Yeah, Anti has been very vigilant with his defense so far. Doesn't feel the need to block the inside of Tarzan. Rick with a touring car style bump just to give a warning shot. I'm sure other drivers are now getting through that moderately quick hairpin, certainly a lot quicker than what we saw in lap or corner number 4, and now through the final chicane before oval turn 4. You can see those sausage curbs are really treacherous, and anyone getting too close will be sent badly off course. And that completes lap 1, Pete.
Yeah, one of the laps is completed. It looks like Gabor hasn't had a great start compared to his teammates and the drivers ahead. He's got quite a void between him and Unite. Unite is looking like he fancies a slice of fatal pie as they head into corner 2. We've got a battle further back between Redbot and Yari Katilla, side by side as they head through turn 2.
Yeah, this is what we believed could happen, and now it's a reality. Side by side, carrying on. Redbot has the inside, staying on board with Yari. We'll see now the braking zone. Just as you want to really get back on the power, you suddenly have to hit the brakes, and Yari is going to use all of that curbing on the inside, and he is through. And now Teemu Soini wants to possibly reap the rewards that, like his teammate, couldn't quite get the job done though.
Absolutely. It remains status quo at the front, but one notable change is that Fatal is turning the screws. He's beginning to close up to this battling pair at the front. Rick Cardle really is piling on the pressure onto Anti, and in some ways that can hold both of them up. Let's see what Fatal can manage over the next few laps. He himself is now opening that gap up from Unite, which is potentially allowing Gabor to have a sniff. Gabor is kind of on his own, but there we have Pekka and Owner having a fight.
Yeah, this is a great opportunity to get within the top 5 battle for these two drivers. If Koivunen can hang on, a little bit of contact. Owner, though, catches any tricky slide. So the battle for 5th place will be Koivunen's to manage if he can catch up. And now we'll see Lorenzo, the Himuli, Nozzle, and Donny. Donny does get a bit high. Can't. He does get on 2 wheels there. He couldn't cut any further than that. And he looks to have kept a hang on there of 8th place. Fastest lap, the first official fastest lap, it's set by Rick Idlepy.
Yeah, Rick Cardle's really got the pace, and even though he's still nestled in behind Antti, managing to set the fastest lap behind a car you're battling with is pretty impressive. As Lorenzo now is going to take a look up the inside on the Muli, and he's going to... he touched the apron, which slowed him down. The Muli with the higher line may still be able to cut in front here, but he's still too wide. Lorenzo gets another bite at the cherry. Hard on the brakes. Lorenzo, we know he's good on the brakes. Has he outdone himself? A little bit, but he will get that position easily.
Yeah, lovely job there. Gets him up into the top 10. Koivunen and Owner have certainly unfinished business here. Chance now heading into Yentwood. So unfamiliar at these speeds, though. So braking much earlier than on the usual international course. Koivunen continues this very wise defending, avoiding the curb there, or the sausage curb. Now this is Piff. Still, these drivers keeping it very clean, but they're almost equal in these equal machinery. You just feel any moment here between the two, it'll be the moment of skill that separates them. But as of right now, it's still Koivunen in 6th position.
It is indeed. Owner is hassling the back of him quite a lot, but not able to get through. And it's often said that it's more difficult to overtake than it looks here, as we are now watching Magic in this 3-car battle with Michael and Pedro. So 2 master race car drivers around Magic.
Possibly a chance for Magic. I think there was to look on Michael on the inside, and Pedro Bior is also here looking for some healthy competition. He's going to have to use the slipstream on Magic here to see if he can get caught up to his own master race car teammate.
Another side-by-side battle between Redbot and Yari as we head through Oval Turn 1. Yari on the outside in the yellow, white and black machine. And Redbot in the black, white and red XRT. Still there, but proof that the outside line is not as ineffective as you might think around Rockingham. Especially in this car. Yari able to hang on for now. Redbot does have a nose ahead now and takes the place. But... it can all come undone again in the hairpin very easily as Redbot gets a little bit deep. Well, not a little bit deep, a lot deep. And Yari will say thanks very much, at least initially. But we're going to have to cut away because Rick Cardle has had a look, but he's gone too deep on Valter.
That would have been absolute splendour there if Rick had have made that move work. But he's certainly got more up his sleeve here that will put Antti-Valter a bit off his preferred entry into the corner there. And now heading uphill. Rick is really showing some muscle. He wants to get close without overstepping his marks and making sure this pressure is sustained.
One thing I always said about Rockingham is that it was one of the best tracks to go and watch the touring cars at because you could see everything from the big grandstand. But the nice thing that we've got here is we've got this global camera on the top of the timing tower at Rockingham, which means we can just watch the whole race from a single camera, which is great. I mean, look at this.
Yeah, this is wonderful. Great work with the cameras there from our usual trusted Chris Elmo McElroy. So thank you as always for that. So this is the beginning of lap 5 for the leaders. bit slower for Rick this time around compared to what he has previously done for a personal best time in the race. We're going to see what third place versus fourth is all about, with Unite looking to get onto the podium against Fatal here, and it seems like his curse of the incorrect liveries has gone away today, Pete.
Well, for now, I mean, you've jinxed it now, haven't you? I mean, Fatal was hard in the wall. That's not ideal. And again, actually, he taps the ball. But these four all bunching up. Valter is really the bottle now. The cap, the stopper in the bottle. Skabor is now on the back of this pack as well, behind Fatal. So Fatal's not had a good few corners. Unite's had a fantastic run because Valter is essentially holding Rick up at this point. In fact, I don't think that's fair. I think Rick is doing his own fair share of holding Valter up as well. Remember, he was way too deep as we went through this corner Yentwood on the previous lap, and that's allowed everyone else to catch back up.
Yeah, it's the case where the very quick drivers are neutralizing each other's ultimate lap time pace, and then the vacancy that they leave behind in their times is being certainly grabbed with both hands by third place down to fifth, possibly. We're going to now check out Pedro Bior's attack, see if he can overtake Magic for position. No luck there. Now the queue at Tarzan, it's quite busy. Rick got a big slide, and Unite will be on the outside line for the first part of the final complex. He ultimately decides to get back into single file. Rick with a little bunny hop onto two wheels, and now they get through oval turn 4's exit and we'll begin another lap.
Yeah, Valter's doing just enough at the exit of the Brook chicane, but I don't know if he's done enough on this occasion. Let's see from the rear bumper of Valter's car whether Rick can get any sort of slipstream. Valter with a little bit of a weird line there, but it looks like this is fine for now. Rick cannot do anything. What can Unite do? Can Unite get up into P2 here on Rick?
Yeah, he gives a bump to his teammate. Have to refuse to do that now because it is the breaking point. Valter does about
again another awkward
apex,
hairpin for Valter. Yeah,
but Fatal was very, very hot into the hairpin there. Could have made contact, and that means Gabor has a chance to get Sidus into second, third, and then fourth.
Well, we'll just have to wait and see. United's checked out from Fatal, but we'll have to... I mean, this is going to end in fireworks at some point. Rick Cardle desperately wants to get past Valter, mainly to stop the other cars behind him from bunching up. They've got Fatal in the mix. Fatal is not a Sidus member. He will not care about any of this team spirit going on here, any of this bump drafting. He wants to win. So Rick Cardle and Unite cannot hang around, and Valter at the moment is doing a great job of holding on.
Yeah, he's got some excellent corner exit speed in this sector too, for example. But he does almost give Rick the chance to get a nose into the side, but it means that Unite is probably going to put Rick into a quandrum, I suppose, or quandary. I think quandary is a better word. To see if Rick actually loses a position for all this hard work he's been doing to try and go for the lead. He could be beaten by one of his teammates.
Oh, this is proper touring car stuff. This honestly makes me miss touring cars at Rockingham. But I just need to live in the moment and just enjoy what we're watching here. 3 cars fighting for the lead, 2 of them in the same team. And Antti Valter, a long-time LFS member who has returned to the public racing scene recently. The last time he was out was in the LX4 at the West Hill Tunnels layout, part of RTFR a few weeks ago, and doing a great job here again. He had a bit of an incident in the previous race, but so far so good here tonight. These two bump drafting again as we head down to turn 3, Eoin, and it is currently Unite with the fastest lap, probably aided by some slipstream, but these two trying to work together. They go for the outside line this time because they know that Valter, well, he's not had great hairpins on the last couple of attempts, but yeah, Unite is definitely the one to watch at the moment.
Absolutely, it seems Antti Valter has the preferred technique down, where he hangs in the middle of the track, but then he's able to cut through the apex and keep the car still going on the preferred outside line when you want to get back onto the accelerator. And Rick is just doing everything he can now. There's just no real gimme corner here in this segment of Rockingham. If there was a bit of a double apex he could get alongside, but it is just the tricky, complex, but also the exit speed that Valter he's definitely thriving off in this part of the track, and there's just no way alongside for Rick.
Absolutely. Gabor in the background is getting hungry. He's going for a lunge into Tarzan. Is he? Yes, he is. Fatal force to the outside line, and Gabor just says thank you very much. Fatal might have a comeback on the exit, and it's going to be a last of the late breakers into Brook. But I think Gabor's got it done. Yes, he does. He takes his line. So Gabor for Sidus up to P4 on lap 7. So that's important. That means we've got the 3 Sidus cars together.
Oh, there's contact. Valter's been tagged, and Unite surges into the lead.
I completely missed it. I was watching the other fight, so I don't know. Talk us through it, Owen. Did you see what happened?
Yeah, it looked like Valter on the outside heading into oval turn 4. Gabor was on his inside. It was just the case where the rear quarter panel was rubbed off against Gabor, and then Valter had been sent a little bit sideways. Gabor obviously had to back out to avoid further damage to himself and to his opponent, but it meant Unite had an opening and takes the lead. So that's what I saw.
Well, yeah, I mean, Rick Cardle, the big loser then, down to P5 as they all kind of bundle into this first hairpin again. Fatal, well, goodness me, we've got a car spun. That was Pekka Koivunen with Ona there. So more drama in the first hairpin. And a complete shake-up in this front battle. It's Unite of all people leading ahead of Gabor, who was P5 a moment ago after getting past Fatal up to P4. And now up to P2 with Valter and Rick Cardle coming together. Blimey, yeah. So a bit of a shuffle there, and well, plenty more to expect as we go through because Ona now is right on the back of these guys and showing pace.
Yeah, he'll be raring to go. This is a great opening that he could possibly. Oh, he does get a wheel on the grass. I just spotted him there. It's okay. He's able to carry on, but. This is certainly a fantastic scenario that you can see the race leader about 1.5 to 2 seconds in front of him. That's, oh, I'm sorry, it's 4 seconds. So I was 50% off there. So it's certainly a lot closer than you expect.
Yeah, absolutely. Unite leads Gabor, then it's Valter, Fatal, Rick Cardle, Ona, Koivunen, Donny, Nozzle, and Lorenzo, your top 10. And we've got more battling going on between Michael and Pedro here as they come into Tarzan. And it looks to be Pedro Biart on the back of Michael, and he can't be too overzealous. Sorry, Michael's managed to get ahead of Pedro there. These guys need to be careful because we've got Mantas in the background, and we know how fast Mantas can be. Already on the back of Michael. Pedro. As our timing screens have not updated.
Yeah, we have to remember that, unfortunately, because it feels so similar to the default international track, but yeah, because it is custom layout, the timing towers update doesn't happen until the sector lines, so a bad half a lap for Pedro. Mantas looking to take advantage, but contact there. Fatal was given another bump from Rick, who really wants another shot at 4th place.
Yeah, he really does, and you can't blame him. I mean, the incident, which I'm a little bit annoyed I missed, because I cannot contextualise this at all. I'm assuming the car behind was at fault.
I think, yeah, it was Gabor on the inside. I suppose he had the responsibility to just keep alongside, but without contact. So unfortunately, yeah, it got too close. So yeah, I'd have to be absolutely sure it was a case where Valter needed more room and didn't get it. But yeah, I just saw it was tagging that sent Valter sideways.
Well, unfortunate stuff. Yeah, Unite has converted his fastest lap into another couple of fantastic lap times. Gabor, who was complaining about the car before the session, finds himself in P2. But yeah, Unite has the advantage right now.
Yeah, it's 0.8 of a second worth of a lead over his teammate Gabor. Yeah, we can see how well, the top five have now readjusted to their new placements. His owner slips a bit further behind. Yeah, he's about 5 seconds back this time around. Yeah, it's definitely Fatal and Rick. I think that's the exciting tussle is carrying on and on and on. But yeah, with lap 10 underway here, it just means that Fatal has to stay strong, and whatever happens. He's got to keep up this pace.
Yeah, the benefit of the oval here is that we've got 3 corners pretty much where drivers can use the slipstream quite effectively to gain an advantage if their exit out of the final corner is good. And it looks like for now that Fatal is doing enough to keep off Ricciardo. And well, everybody in this top 5 is maintaining the gap, but every single lap, Fatal is caught into that hairpin by Rick, and it gets super close on the exit. So Rick just needs to be able to hug the back of Fatal's car until the end of the lap, but already he's dropped back. It's easier said than done, that's for sure. This is a super tricky track, but we'll just have to wait and see. Can Rick manage to get past Fatal and then try and catch back up to Valtteri, his nemesis so far in this race?
Yeah, now that I look at it, Fatal's right side tyres are entering that uncomfortable sort of dark green temperature cycle, and that means if Rick stays patient, I think there's a very high chance he'll get through. It's maybe not now, but before the end of the race, I think Fatal will be very exposed by those tire temps. You may just get a hint of that slide to prove my point. Yeah, you can see he's very uncomfortable on the front right, sending him very high out of Tarzan. So Rick must be fully alert to this. He's got to be patient, and then Fatal, struggling on these right side tyres, will give up the position.
Well, let's wait and see. This is the important corner. Rick has to absolutely nail this exit. Fatal has done a pretty good job, but with hotter tyres, he might struggle for grip on the exit, and Rick is now going to be well poised for a move, you've got to say. Fatal just didn't get a good enough exit, not a tight exit at all, and now Rick will start to gain, and he can basically choose his line. He can choose to lift off and do it later. Fatal makes this a little bit easier by dropping a wheel on the apron. Fatal will defend the inside, so here we go. We're going to have a showdown into turn 3.
Yeah, Fatal's going to drift high. He holds on using that apron, but it's a beautiful move around the outside. And I think Fatal has to concede. This is where it'll be really uncomfortable for the warming tyres. Yeah, he's even using the handbrake to negotiate the hairpin. It's very awkward times for Fatal. He's got to somehow, I think, back off while still keeping to a decent lap time. Otherwise, owner, who's about 2.5 seconds down the road, will be thinking I can get past Fatal as well.
Yeah, it's a runaway effect. As soon as the tyres start to go, unless you do back off, it's basically you can only neutralise them at that point. It's very difficult to cool them down. It's all about setup and driving style. And Ricciardo, well, we know he likes to manage his tyres. We know he can manage his tyres very well, and he's proven just that. It's possible that Fatal just has overdriven it or something like that, or potentially a problem with the setup, which has caused him to lose so much time already on this lap. But full credit to Ricciardo. That was a great overtake.
Yeah, it was definitely my overtake of the day so far. Just a well-planned and brave move on the outside of turn 2. Perhaps the riskiest of the 4 turns that are on the full oval, but I suppose he had it under his control. Valtteri will be disappointed now. He's not been able to really get neck and neck with Gabor again since their brief contact. Comparing the lap times, he has gained 2 tenths. It still feels a bit lacking for his goal with about 5 laps to go. Unite still looking very pleased to be in this kind of lead so far.
Yeah, not only is he in the lead, he is extending that lead. It's come down a little bit, I think. Well, yeah, and it's gone up again. So United's very comfortable at the moment. Just needs to keep putting in these lap times. He still has the fastest lap, of course, so definitely has more in the tank. But yeah, Gabor is not a sort of guy to look in his rear view too much. He won't care. He'll just be focusing forward for now. It's up to Antti to get past, really, as you said. So yeah, very comfortable at the moment for Sidus. Let's see what Rickardle can do. You mentioned only 5 laps to go, 4.5 now-ish, but can Rickardle bridge this gap? He's got 2.09 seconds to the grey car of Antti Valter ahead. Tall order, but we've seen more. We've seen him do some things we thought were impossible before. So let's see what he can manage today.
Oh, there's a car off at Piff. It's one of the back markers. Tom getting completely offline there, and now I suppose with the blue flags out, he's got to use the racing track to get himself back in to a reasonable position. But now we're looking at Michael Malik getting overtaken by his teammate. So these two are trading places at least twice now. So it's good for Pedro that he regained some of his bearings and has beaten his teammate to the punch.
Yeah, at the timing line, which is just coming up, he will be promoted to B12. So yeah, more dicing among teammates. But yeah, Pedro with the advantage just now. Good stuff. There it is. Unite begins lap 13, 12 completed, 4 to go here in round number 5. And well, we've got another battle, have we? Yes, Michael has managed to get back past in Tarzan, so that was short-lived. But Pedro's going for another move into Brook. Oh, it's a tight chicane that. You slow each other down if you do that, but he's tucked in behind, and that's probably going to compromise his exit a little bit, is it? Nope, still together, so anyone's game. I think Michael's done enough there, actually, to hold on. That gap has gone up quite a bit since the final corner. Yeah, I think Michael will be safe. Michael regains the position back up to P12.
Yeah, that's a solid job for Michael. Still has to find a way to avoid giving Pedro another shot at the position. But now back on board with one of our primary contenders, Rick, just on the periphery of finishing on the rostrum. He has not really made inroads on Gabor yet.
He's made 6/10 on this lap. That's why I think we're on board with him. He's made 6/10 up on Valter. So in one lap he's done that. What can he manage in the rest? Like I said, it's one thing catching up, but it's another thing to get past. I don't know where he made that time on the lap. I don't think Valter and Gabor have been battling necessarily. So this could just be pure pace. But we've got to go away from this again because look, Michael Malik and Pedro are side by side again. These two, well, they're loving a scrap. Luckily, they are holding off Mantas while doing this, just about. Pedro going the long way round, it looks like, as we head into Piff. He's still got a nose ahead. Michael's leaving him the room. And, well, he's going to lead the way through Gracelands. He just needs to drop him.
Yeah, Mantas is making his best effort to catch up, knowing that the two drivers are costing each other a little bit of time. This is the beginning of lap 14 now. That's down to the final 3 laps. And if anything, Valter is now our contender for most likely to gain a position in this top 5 scrap. Gabor is going to go high and then cut into the apron, whereas Valter prefers to stay low, drifting back up with the sausage curbs all the way on the apron there to avoid any unnecessary corner cutting. It means that Gabor's technique can't be repeated as easily. So Valter has found a little bit more pace, Pete.
Look how much, though, Rickardle gained on the brakes on Valter. That gap is now down to, well, nothing, pretty much. So Rickardle is back on the scene with a vengeance. But yeah, Valter, probably a little bit spooked by the speed at which Rickardle approached him, because he's dropped back from Gabor again. I think Unite has this comfortably unless he drops the ball. But it is a case of who is going to be on the podium now. Is it going to be Valter? Is it going to be Rickardle? I think Gabor will be safe as well because, look, Rickardle now closer to Valter, and we now know how this went at the beginning of the race.
Yeah, it's the uncomfortable sandwich position here for Valtteri in between the side of teammates behind and in front. So if he wants to play sort of roll of the dice with Gabor, Rick will be there to take full advantage. So he's going to hang on to the ordinary racing line. But Rick is here to turn up the wick.
Oh, I liked it. I liked the pun you were going for there, unintentionally.
Yeah, unintentionally for sure.
Turn up the Rick.
We'll see. It's the final chicane out of the school straight that does sort of level out things a bit. Yeah, I think Rick is definitely going to gain the slipstream more than Valtteri will gain on Gabor. So it's going to be pressure situation now for Valtteri. He's got to hang on in there.
Yeah, look at Rick. He's using all of the apron. He's trying to get as much of an advantage as he can. He desperately wants this podium. If he does it, it will be a Sidus lockout as well. So yeah, Valtteri just needs to hang on. I'm hearing that Michael and Pedro are having a fight, but I want to see if Rick Cardle can get an advantage on Valtteri again. He's so strong in this hairpin. Oh goodness me! Valtteri's caught Gabor napping straight up the inside. I did not expect to see that happen. But yeah, Valtteri has made up a place. I don't know what happened to Gabor there. He just didn't commit to the corner.
Yeah, and smart choice to stay on that Battle Peak. Good TV direction there. Valtteri is now back into P2 and he'll feel that's the way it should be. I was rightfully in the lead before that incident. And Gabor's not happy. He wants it straight back, so best 2 out of 3. Let's go.
I don't know if I like that. I feel like Gabor was a bit of a push to pass situation going on here. Rick Cardle will have a better line. Anti-Valtteri now compromised. Gabor gets through. Think about that, will you? And Rick Cardle decides to send it as well. Owen, what's going on here?
Well, yeah, the temperature is definitely rising. Rick and Gabor just doing very last gasp maneuvers here on anti-Valtteri, and it does mean there is 1.25 laps to go, so there is a potential for a professional foul coming up if my pessimistic side is coming out. Yeah, I will fear there is a retaliation on the way.
No, I think Antti is too classy for that. We've seen other drivers go for it, but Antti is he knows that rubbing is racing. There was maybe a little bit more than rubbing going on, but Antti won't do any of that nonsense. P4, he's going to try and get it back on merit. He's close enough probably to Rick to have a sniff if he wants to, but we know how strong Rick is on the brakes. Antti's got to pull something special out if he wants to get past on this lap, but it is currently a Sidus lockout. But for how long? Valtteri has a whiff of slipstream. He's going super low, super early, trying to get all the advantage. Doesn't go onto the apex, just kisses it. He might be able to do it. This is his last real chance. He's got the slipstream. Rick will defend. Valtteri is there, but he's not committed to either side, and that could hurt him on this final lap.
Rick knew he couldn't perform the same indecision twice. He would have been punished both times. But yeah, Antti, he made a choice, and it was predicted. But yeah, it was all clean, has to be said. Yeah, it's 110% commitment all the way to the finish here. It's really a case of forcing Rick to lose concentration and put a wheel on the grass. That's really about it. And then Mantas getting too close for comfort to the sort of makeshift barrier there. Michael is sliding all over the place. Is he out of rubber on those tires? No, it looks reasonably okay, but Mantas ahead.
Yeah, Mantas sneaks through on the final lap. Whether Michael can get that back remains to be seen, but we have to keep an eye at the front because he's been off camera for a while because he's just been holding his own at the front. I'm not quite sure how he managed to get to the front, but maybe some viewers and Owen saw the incident. But he's doing a great job to hold on to this one. And there we go. It is Sidus 1-2-3 into the final chicane. But can Valtteri do anything? I don't think so. I think Rick has remained strong. Valter didn't commit to a side as he entered the hairpin at turn 3, and that means it's going to be a Sidus 1-2-3, led home by fastest lap holder Sidus Unite, then it's Gabor, then it's Rickardle. Anti-Valter will not get a podium on this occasion, but it was a great fight. Fatal in P5, not the result he wanted. He was showing strong pace at the beginning. Then it's Ona and Pekka Koivunen, who seem to be glued together this season pretty much. Those two finishing around the same place every single race. Iron Donny P8, Friends United Nozzle in P9, Then it's Race Green's Lorenzo rounding out the top 10. Eoin, that was a fantastic race, up and down, plenty of drama and plenty of action to speak of.
Yeah, we got our wishes here from this unique layout at Rockingham, so full gratitude goes out to Rony for this preparation here in RTF4. We got exactly what we hope to see, and a decent amount of finishers are going to be classified, so I also take great satisfaction out of that. Here's our race winner, Sidus Unite. He's going to find somewhere to begin his celebrations, and he's going to do some drifting to get us started.
Yeah, he's going to drift down the what is it? This is the sprint layout pit lane to find the podium. I think it's been placed in at the end of this makeshift maze that Rony's put together. Michael Malik, I want to bring him up. He had a terrible last lap. He lost out to Magic and Rony at some point on that lap as well. So not just Mantas, but also those two. So he came home in P16, which is not ideal. Final car about to come across the line in P22 in stunning fashion. There we go. Is LG Meese. So there we go. Let's get a full rundown of that order while we watch Unite do some celebrations on his little podium there. Eoin, please take it away for the results.
Yeah, gladly. And our race winner is Sidus Unite there, who had the open door opportunity and was able to take it very, very effectively. Gabor and Rickardle, his Sidus teammates, complete the podium there, all within 1.5 seconds of each other. Anti-Valter unfortunately could not convert that pole position to a win, but we'll be very impressed with him, and I hope to see him again for future rounds. Completing the top 5 there. Fragmaster's Fatal. Great effort as well. He was getting close to the Sidus guys, but just didn't quite work out with those tire temps. Owner was the best of the rest there in 6th, beating out Koivunen. And then the top 10 from 8th down, it's Donny, Nussel, and Lorenzo. Then we've the Muli, Pedro, Mantas, Magic, Rony, Michael, Shvaya, Davey, Soini, and Redbot for the top 20.
On our final page of results, it's Jari Katila, LG Meese, your finishers, and then DNFs include TomTom, Aerotax River, Servet Uzgunoglu, and B2R Litro in P26. Unite takes the fastest lap of 2:02.77, so 7.79 off of the pole time set by Anti-Valter. Anti will be disappointed not to get a podium, but the Sidus boys are going to be chuffed to get that podium lockout. Unite ahead of Gabor, ahead of Rickardle. Excellent stuff. What a round.
Yeah, definitely highly dramatic and engrossing round. That's what I believe we've seen. So yeah, looking forward to the next round as well. That'll be in 2 weeks' time. So yeah, all credit goes out to the drivers. Did a very, very good job in the circumstances.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Eoin. And of course, thanks very much to our viewers and our racers for tuning in and driving in this championship. The 291st RTFR comes to a close here, and it's a bit of a shame because I don't know when we're going to see Rockingham again. It might be quite a while. It's seldom used these days, which is a bit of a shame. But yeah, it did not disappoint tonight in the TBO class. The XRT was a great choice by Rony. Or in fact, I think it was the previous... was it Rony? I can't remember. I think it's XL. XL, the drivers choose the next combo. So yes, this was a Rony special, and we appreciate it here. Just before we sign off, let's have a look at the calendar for the season and see where we are going next. We are going to Blackwood 2, not Blackwood 1, in the XFR. So that is Blackwood National with the XFR in 2 weeks' time on October 5th. October 25th. Going back in time. Owen, you're going to be there for it. We hope everyone who's watching is, and we hope we have a good field of, well, as close to 40 cars as we can manage as we get into the longer nights of the year. Thanks everyone for watching. We hope you enjoyed it. Please subscribe, follow, do all the good stuff if you enjoyed, and we'll see you at the next one. Owen, good night.
Bye now, everyone.